It's a mind-blowing situation. For the public, it's like, oh, a conspiracy theory, it's entertaining. But if you're actually in a responsible position and you find out that there's a whole secret government program that you don't know about, it's a shock.
This report comes from a shadowy Pentagon department that was shut down in 2012.
The disclosure movement has been hijacked by people parroting the narrative and the script being written by these black projects. I would say 90+% of everything that's going to come out is false.
The most widely seen UFO right now is not alien, it's actually ours.
It's a great cover story for all kinds of criminal activities. Blame it on the aliens, right?
If we are being visited by interdimensional beings, we should know about it.
This has the big disadvantage of the truth being much more unbelievable than the fiction.
It's the crash retrievals that are the Rosetta Stone for solving the UFO cover-up.
The implications of this is the difference between extinction level civilization versus one that's going to take off to the stars.
Oh, what the hell?
Dr. Sam Osmanaj, a Bosnian pyramid discoverer and principal investigator, and a member of the Russian Academy of Natural Science and Archaeology, Society of Alexandria. He has a PhD in Mayan pyramids and author of 17 books on ancient civilizations. His work has been followed on CNN, ABC, and the BBC, including the National Geographic Discovery and the Science Channel. We at Third Phase Moon are excited to bring you this full-length documentary feature film on the Bosnian pyramids. It's an exciting story about the discovery of the first European pyramids, oldest and the biggest on the planet. Leading independent researchers have proven that the pyramids are energy machines, affecting us in beneficial ways, including energy fields, molecular structure of water and food, human health, spirituality. It's my pleasure to introduce you Dr. Sam Osmanaj in regards to his discoveries in Bosnia. Give us a big thumbs up, check it out, let us know what you think, and make sure you subscribe. Sit back and enjoy this, everybody.
My name is Dr. Sam Osmanaj. More than 35 years, I have been researching ancient civilizations, pyramids, and megalithic sites all over the world. And I have concluded that almost everything they teach us about the ancient history is wrong. The origin of man, civilizations, and pyramids. For pyramids, they've been telling us they are built in Egypt and Mexico, which is wrong, because they were built all over the planet. There are 250 pyramids in the central Chinese province of Shanxi. There are pyramids in western Java, Gunung Padang, 29,000 years old. Pyramids in Cambodia, like Koh Ker, beautiful 7-tier pyramid. 7 pyramids on the island of Mauritius. 224 Nubian pyramids in northern Sudan. 155 pyramids in Egypt. 43 pyramids on the island of Sicily. 104 pyramids on Canary Islands. We have pyramids in Bolivia. We have pyramids in Peru, more than 300. We have pyramids in the Central America, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, and Mexico. Almost 100,000 pyramids. We have pyramids in the United States, Cahokia pyramids, over 200 of them in the national park in southwestern corner of the state of Illinois. And of course, we have pyramids in Europe. 3 Palencia pyramids in northern Spain. We have pyramids in Italy, the most known and the biggest complex, Monte Vecchio pyramids in northern Italy. We have 16 pyramids in Greece, Hellenicon, the biggest one. And finally in Bosnia. So, the world of the pyramids was the world of the past. In April of 2005, I first came to the central Bosnian town of Visoko, not because of pyramids, but to visit the local museum. And then I saw this. Everybody called this a natural hill. However, I was able to see 4 sides. One in the front, second one to the left, the third one to the right, the fourth one in the back. I could see the triangular faces, 4 triangular faces. From here, we can see clearly 2 corners. And then we can see the same slope from bottom to the top. Geometrically speaking, this is a pyramid. Skyscraper in Dubai, 110. This concrete goes all the way to 134 megapascals, the best quality ever. The second element is the water absorption. Less absorption, better the quality. Why? Because if the water can get inside the concrete during the winter time, it freezes. And once you have an ice has a tendency to get bigger. Once it gets bigger, the concrete breaks. So the idea is to keep the water absorption very low. Our norms allow up to 3%. Here we have only 1%. It's superior. Well, if it is superior, how come we have so many pieces around me? Look at the pyramid, slope of 45 degrees. At 45 degrees, farmers could not use this land for the agriculture or to keep domestic animals. Therefore, it was worthless. So below us, at the base of the pyramid, we have a gypsies village, people with no money. They got the land almost for free. Now they need to build their houses. They don't have money to buy the construction material, cement. So what they would do, they would uncover 1.5 meters of soil, and then they would be finding those beautiful blocks. They brought dynamite, explosives from mining facilities and a lot of mines around us, and then they would be destroying the area. And from the big blocks, they were getting smaller pieces, which they could handle and take them down to the places where they were building their houses and their foundations. So unfortunately, several big sections of pyramid have been destroyed forever. In archaeology, we have 5 questions: what, who, when, how, and why. And we've been trying to answer all of them at the same time. The question when is very intriguing. We can see that the pyramid has been covered by soil. The science that investigates the origin of soil is called pedology. Institute for Pedology from Bosnia has analyzed the soil samples from the Sun and the Moon pyramid. And their conclusion was that the soil had an age between 12 and 15,000 years. So if the soil is up to 15,000 years, it means that the construction below the soil is much older. In the year 2012, our archaeologist Nicola Visconti, with his crew of volunteers, were uncovering our trench number 4A. And there, on the top of the blocks, he discovered organic material. Since it was on the top, it meant that it could give us a minimum age of the structure. We did radiocarbon dating, and the age was 24,800 years, plus minus 200 years. Layers of artificially made concrete. At the time we discovered it, it was flashing, the lights coming from crystal. This is the reason why we named this section the crystal concrete. Why crystal? Very important mineral. We have noticed that on several places the builders were bringing dolomite, which is not characteristic for this area. Dolomite has a lot of white crystal. White crystal transforms one type of the energy into another one. For example, if you have electromagnetic field, it hits crystal, and then through the piezoelectrical effect, it transforms this energy to the ultrasound. Or vice versa, if you have ultrasound or sound hitting the crystal, then you can get the electricity. And of course, the purpose of pyramids have a lot to do with different forms of the energy. Especially close to the edges, the ancient builders were accumulating huge quantities of crystal. And we have witnessed that back in 2012 when we were uncovering the edge of the pyramid, 2017 and 2018 when we find it in huge quantities. So it will bring us closer to the real purpose of pyramids. Since 2005, when I established my hypothesis that the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is the biggest and the oldest pyramid on the planet, the mother of all pyramids, we have been visited by a number of independent scientists. That because they don't understand. Well, everything is energy in the nature. Our planet is a huge energy ball. There are two major energy flows on our planet, north-south and east-west. When you make four-sided pyramid and perfectly oriented to the cardinal points, it automatically initiates the movement of the energy first inside the pyramid, through the top of the pyramid, and then off the pyramid. Inside the pyramid, energy flow goes hitting 1/3 at the height, then going all the way to the top, to 2/3, down to 1/3, completing the circle. That's why orientation is so important. Also, energy flow going through the top, like a spiral of the pyramid, and the third one going off the pyramid in concentric circles, affecting the societies, communities, agriculture, and so on. So now we are getting closer to the purpose of pyramids. Base of the western slope of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, 190 meters in height, second largest pyramid on the planet, but different in design than the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Over there, we have concrete blocks. It's a true pyramid. Over here, we have terraces, terrace after terrace after terrace. Material, it's a sandstone based. What we can see here are the sandstone plates of different sizes, sometimes square, sometimes rectangular, sometimes 6 sides. We know that in the megalithic period on the planet, 5,000 to 8,000 years back, we did have the construction where people were using different sizes of the stones, blocks, megaliths. And of course, much before that, 12,000 plus years also, it seems that it had something to do with the structural stability of the objects and showing the superiority comparing to us. Now, when we started excavation here back in 2006, 2007, a number of geologists from Bosnia, Croatia, Italy, France, United Kingdom, United States started saying, oh, this is all natural. It was one huge tectonic plate, and then during the tectonic movements, the plate started breaking, north-south. During the next tectonic movement, it started breaking east-west. And this is what we have on the Moon Pyramid. However, when we take a closer look, we can see that if there was a north-south break, then this line would go continuously here. It is not the case. It goes north-south, then 90 degrees break, again 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees, it continues over there. Meaning that somebody actually purposely made these rectangular plates, place it over here. They made another one, which they cut in that way that it follows the previous one. They made another one, and another one. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Not only that, when they were cutting this piece, we can see the cutting marks here. Probably they had some type of the tool or instrument, like today we use this, the saws, the metal saws, so we can see how they were cutting it. And then the saw continue cutting the surface of this plate. So it's a plate after plate after plate after plate. Different sizes with very intriguing surface. We can see this wavy pattern. And every plate has different wavy pattern. Were they using some existing natural plates exposed to the lake water, or they were making this pattern? At this point, it is not clear. Let's take a look at this terrace. It climbs up at 8-degree slope. It's going from this west side to the south side, coming back like a spiral, reminding us of ziggurats phenomenon back in Sumer and Babylon. The next thing, we can see 8 degrees going down in the center under the pyramid. Now, they made distinction, they made the sections of 8 meters, most probably collecting the water. So, if we start from this block, which is a little bit raised comparing to the next one, 8 meters further away, we can see that there is another little step. So, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And you see here, a little step. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another step over here. So, most probably, when they were collecting the water, they wanted to make sure that water goes under, the pyramid and being collected into a water reservoir. Why would we have a water reservoir under the pyramid of the moon? Well, we have not only this one, but also under the sun and under the dragon pyramid, the water reservoirs. Why? Well, by now we know that pyramids were huge energy machines, and the pyramid energy is able to improve the molecular structure of any objects, of any being. Now, in this particular case, we have water. Being exposed to pyramid energy, it becomes a healing water. So under the moon pyramid, we have a healing water, under the sun, under the dragon. Interestingly enough, from the top of the sun pyramid to the top of the moon pyramid, 2,180 meters. From the top of the moon, top of the dragon, 2,180 meters. Dragon back to the sun, 2,180. So they form equilateral triangle, a perfect geometrical shape. And in those 3 pyramids, different in height, design, and material, we have water. So we have a little bit different pyramid energies, and they affect the water differently. In any case, it is healing water, but different properties. It's like with our mineral waters today. One mineral water has more magnesium, another one calcium, and so on, but they are all good. Here, they are all good also. Now the question is, what's happening in the middle, in the center of the triangle? I believe that the waters are connected also, creating a big underground lake connected with the tunnels. And in this lake, we have supercharged, super healing water. Production complex above the ground and the huge below the ground. It was time to keep moving up and trying to find the answer. What was the real purpose of pyramids? The story about the Bosnian pyramids started with my view of what we know today as the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. 4 sides, triangular faces, perfect orientation. We established a non-profit foundation. We started digging, removing soil from the above rectangular, square, and other concrete blocks. We took samples, we analyzed them. It is the best quality concrete. And then we started finding fossilized leaves between concrete blocks. We established the age through the radiocarbon dating in Kiev, 29,200 plus minus 400 years. And then we realized that the ancients were applying the knowledge of sacred geometry in building the pyramids. What are the elements of sacred geometry? Number pi, 3.14. Number phi, Gordon ratio, 1.618. But also other irrational numbers like square root of number 2, square root of number 3, 1.42, 1.73. Why? Because irrational numbers are endless. They don't have a finite, they don't have final value. They were alive for the ancient people. So, when we connect the top of the Sun pyramid with the top of the Moon pyramid, with the top of Dragon pyramid, back to the Sun, we are getting perfect equilateral triangle, 2,180 meters between the tops. Inner angles at 60 degrees. You have sacred geometry, you have movement of the energy. So back in 2006, we thought that pyramids had something to do with the energy. And then thanks to the technology of the PIP photography founder, Dr. Harry Oldfield, who personally came here in 2007, we realized that there is a big difference between ambiental fields of the natural hills, cities, and pyramids. One side, the pyramid mountain, the natural mountain of Avala in Serbia has horizontal fields. The little village in western Serbia, horizontal fields. Pointy mountain in Bosnia, but natural horizontal fields. However, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, vertical fields, Sun Pyramid, vertical from different angles and different times. 2007, 2011, 2015, always vertical fields. But not only the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, also other pyramids. The Moon Pyramids, Dragon Pyramid, Love Pyramid, Temple of Mother Earth, Tumulus, artificial conical hill. All the structures in the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids are actually energetically active. They've been active at least for 12 years since we've been doing our measurements, but for sure they've been active for tens of thousands of years. So we realized in order to figure out the purpose of pyramids, we could not use the knowledge of archaeologists, geologists, anthropologists, historians, museum curators. Nobody teaches them about the true purpose of pyramids. We needed real experts, real scientists, physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers, telecommunication engineers, people with the scientific instruments. And they started to come to Bosnia. Teams from Germany, Serbia, Slovenia, from Italy, from Finland, they would come and measure. For example, using the drone, hanging the instruments like oscilloscope, we would fly over the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, and we realized that there is several energy phenomena. The most interesting is electrical field, electrical only, without the magnetism, which starts as the energy beam, 4.5 meters in radius, and then expands at the height of the 21 meter. It is 20 meters wide. Then it's getting narrow and expands and narrow, expands, narrow, frequency of 28 kilohertz. Well, for the physicists and engineers, no doubt. This was scalar waves, or torsion fields, or Tesla's waves. Well, we call them Tesla's scalar waves. Nikola Tesla, 120 years ago, was experimenting with the non-conventional waves, which we can call today Tesla scalar waves. In the last 50 years, Russian theoretical physicists have been experimenting with this type of the waves. Their main feature is that they are quicker than the speed of light. The second one, they can move through the universe, even through the cosmic bodies, without losing the energy. So they are ideal medium to transport the energy and information. And finally, direction of the Tesla scalar waves on the top of the Bosnian pyramid of the Sun, well, at the noontime, they are oriented a little bit more to the south. In the afternoon, southwest. That's how our Sun moves. In the morning, east, noon, south, afternoon, southwest, evening, west. What does that mean? Does it mean that the scalar waves from the top of the Bosnian pyramid of the Sun are communicating with our Sun, and through the Sun, using it as a cosmic gate with other solar systems and other galaxies all the way to the center of the universe? It's very possible. In that case, the pyramid energy and the scalar waves are becoming the part of the system which we can call cosmic internet. Now, the scalar waves are much quicker than the speed of light. Well, according to Einstein's hypothesis, the biggest speed in the universe is the speed of light, almost 300,000 kilometers per second, which is a huge speed. However, in a cosmic relations, it's rather slow. On our planet it's fine, but when we send the light to our Sun, it takes 7.5 minutes to get there. From our planet to the northern star, 700 years. From our planet to the center of the galaxy, Milky Way, 40,000 years. From our planet to the center of the universe, where the old guy with the white robe and the white bird is sitting, being busy creating the worlds and the life and the universe and the galaxies. It takes 5 billion years. And by the time the Creator is sending the message back to our planet, another 5 billion years. So 10 billion years is simply too long for the cosmic communication. We need something much quicker. The scalar waves travel at the speed 10 billion times bigger than the speed of light. So it's ideal speed to communicate in the universe because instantly you are getting information from one end of the galaxy to another one. So potentially the first purpose of pyramid energy is that they were made as the communication devices. What is the second purpose of the pyramid energy? What is the most precious thing in our life? It is our health, to live healthy life. Well, we have noticed as people go to the tunnels under the Bosnian Valley of Pyramids, they breathe good. Deeper they go, they breathe better and better. Not very logical, but nothing is logical in Bosnia. Now, we notice also that people who have asthma or some respiratory problems, after one visit, they don't need inhalers, the air pumps anymore. People who have high blood pressure, it gets normalized. People who have high glucose in the blood, it comes to the normal levels. For example, this girl from Slovakia, Veronica, she had the problem with the lung capacity using only 47% of her lungs. After 3 years of therapies, nothing was helping her. She came to Bosnia, visited the tunnels 2 times, and then it went up to 84%. We also noticed that the people with the high glucose in the blood, for example, the team from Prague, one of the guys, Jiří, had 7.8 sugar in the blood. After one visit, it dropped to 5.1. We had people with 10.5 dropping to 5.7. There is no single medicine that can reduce the sugar in the blood from 10.7 to 5.7 after 1 hour. However, it seems that the tunnels in Bosnia can. Why? Well, there are a combination of 10 different elements. The first one, the best electromagnetic field produced by the pyramids. The second one, the best ultrasound frequency of 28 kilohertz, which is levitation frequency produced by pyramids. The third one, extremely low frequency called the Schumann resonance, 7.83, is produced by the pyramids. Now, today, that frequency has been changed. That is the frequency of our planet. But due to a big number of bad electromagnetic generators, like mobile phones, computers, laptops, microwaves, electrical grids, American Project HARP, so much bad electromagnetic field has been generated. It is going to ionosphere, putting a pressure on our planet. And it starts vibrating higher, 8 hertz, 10 hertz, 12 hertz, 15 hertz. These are not big differences between 7.83 and 15, but it is very noticeable for our body on the cellular level. We simply don't live in our original, natural energy field no more. And we feel that pressure every morning when we wake up. We got the pressure, we got the stress, which lasts for 24 hours a day. 30-40 years ago, it was not like that. Well, besides the Schumann resonance, several more factors in the tunnels. Number 4, we have very high concentration of negative ions. Negative ions are very good, as the medical science knows, because they raise the level of oxygen in our body. They clear the atmosphere from dust. They kill viruses and bacteria. More negative ions, better for us. In our homes, offices, apartments, low concentration of negative ions, 100 of them per cubic centimeter. We go outside to the downtowns of big cities, 400. Villages, 800. By the rivers, 1,500. The top of the mountains, in the pine tree forests, 4,000. In Bosnia, Olympic Mountain Igman is the biggest concentration of negative ions in Bosnia. It is 4,000. In the tunnels, between 20,000 and 40,000. Somebody was building underground healing facility. The next element, the cosmic radiations. We live on the surface, a lot of cosmic radiations coming our way, some of them harmful. In the tunnels, 35 meters below the ground, no cosmic radiations. The next one, underground natural radioactivity. We walk on the street, we're not even aware that this radioactivity is hitting our body, presenting another enemies to our body cells. They fight cosmic radiations, they fight what's coming from underground. In the tunnels, using Geiger counters, we concluded that the values of natural radioactivity are 10 times lower than the minimum allowed. The next one, underground water. They always generate bad energy for us. Well, in the tunnels, we have a series of ceramic blocks strategically laid out that neutralize negative, transform into the positive energy. And finally, 2 things that we produce with our technology. The mobile phone signals started at 0.75 G, today at 5 gigahertz. Very bad for us. This is the frequency of the microwave that causes the cancers. And the last one, Wi-Fi. We can't live without internet. However, Wi-Fi in Europe, 4G, 4 gigahertz. In Bosnia, 3G. In America, 5G. Again, frequencies of the ultrasound. So, all these things are not present in the tunnels. The moment you get in, for the first time in your life, the body cells don't have enemies. They can start doing their job. What is their job? To fix the problems in our body, to start the regeneration process, to start the self-healing process. Therefore, the next potential purpose of pyramids is the self-healing process. Number 3, what is the most important liquid in our life? It is water. We are finding tunnels with the water. So far, 5 of them with the water sections. And we've been doing analysis of this water. No viruses, no bacteria. It vibrates very high. What does that mean? The water that we drink at homes, the city water or the bottled water, also has no viruses and bacteria. How? Because we use chlorine to kill viruses and bacteria. Chlorine is a poison, and we have it in our water. The next one, fluorides, poison. We have it in our water. The next one, traces of heavy metals, poisonous. We have it in our water that we drink, the bottled water or city water. Well, in the case of the water in Bosnian pyramid tunnels, no poisons. Water that we drink today in the bottles is energetically dead water. Water from the tunnels, energetically alive. We sent samples of our water to Dr. Masaru Emoto before he died, and he was doing analysis of two samples, one of the city water from Visoko, one of the pyramid water. The city water, the results are right here. We can see it that the structure is deformed. It's a low level of energy. But even if you take this water and give it to, let's say, to the Buddhist priest, and he has a mantra of love for 1 hour, telling water, I love you, I love you, I love you. In 1 hour, the water will change its molecular structure. It will become hexagonal. Why hexagonal? The perfect geometrical shape when it is about the energy or vibration. And the Bosnian pyramid water, even though we sent it by the plane, it went through the Röntgens and the X-rays, we can see that it did keep hexagonal structure with the beautiful crystal structure, energetically alive, happy water, vibrates high. When we hate, when we are violent, when we are jealous, we vibrate low. When we have love for the whole world, when we have smile on our face all the time, when we are in balance, we vibrate high. Everything in our life is about the vibration. So, the pyramid energy improves the molecular structure of the water as the next potential purpose of the pyramid energy. Number 4, improves molecular structure of the food. Number 5, it improves our biomagnetic field, bioenergy field around our body, the auric field. Number 6, it gets our chakras to balance. Number 7, it opens our chakras so energy can flow better. Number 8, our immunity goes up. Number 9, it improves our spiritual abilities, and so on and so forth. Simply in the 21st century, solution for a lot of our problems would be the pyramid energy. We have just entered the underground labyrinth Ravne. Underground because we will be under the ground 30 to 40 meters. Labyrinth is a huge network of tunnels, chambers, passageways, underground lakes. Ravne, this part of Visoko, is called Ravne. From the entrance of the tunnel to the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 2.5 kilometers. So far, we have cleared and placed the wooden support in 2,150 meters length. So we have shortened our way to the pyramid for 650 meters, so we still have 3/4 of the way to the pyramid. According to the Russian geophysicists, Professor Havroshkin and Professor Tsiplakov, who did measurements from the top of the pyramid using geoelectrical instruments, 280 meters below the top is a network of underground tunnels under the pyramid. And this entrance on the topographic map is also 280 meters below the top of the pyramid. So eventually we want to meet those tunnels below the pyramid and connect with them. The temperature in the tunnels is 12.5 degrees, humidity 75 to 80%. No bad poisonous gases. The good thing is that the level of oxygen is 20.7% everywhere. So we have ideal environment to breathe and be inside. The pyramid from this point is located south-southeast, and this is the direction that we follow. Inside we can notice two different civilizations. The first one who built this underground network 30,000 years ago, and the second one who shut down all these tunnels, who sealed them off with the filler material 4,610 years ago. So what we actually do here, we remove the filler material with the physical labor only, with the wheelbarrows, with the help of our employees and volunteers who come every summer season, June, July, August, September. And then we place the wooden support and we install the lights. And slowly moving towards the biggest pyramid on the planet. This is our egg-shaped block. It is 70 meters from the entrance. We can see several features. We have like 7 hills here, like it is a relief. We see the pointy part of the block over here, showing a direction. And indeed, over there, we have another tunnel which is filled with the material. And most importantly, below this block, there is an underground water flow, 21 meters below us. And the water flows from this direction to that direction. And the width of the water is from here to the other end. And I would say for the ancient people, this block was the information. For us, in 21st century, this is just a piece of rock. For them, the moment they look at it, they knew there was underground water, there was movement of the energy, the length was such, the width was such, the strength was such. For us, in 21st century, we don't deal with our planet anymore. We don't know where are the underground energy flows. Now, we know that the underground water always means negative energy for humans. For us in 21st century, we always know that underground water flow means negative energy for us. But we have a dog laying on this block. Dogs are always attracted by positive energy. They instinctively go to the places where there is a positive energy and when there is strongest positive energy. Sunny, our royal poodle, our assistant in this project, has chosen this block, meaning there's a positive energy. So, underground water, negative energy, this block, the ceramic blocks, neutralize negative, transforming to the positive energy. Cats, on the other hand, they always go to the negative spots. So where the cat lays or stays, don't go there. If dog lays somewhere, you can go and lay over there as well. We are coming to the intersection. On my right and on my left side, we have side tunnels. They are coming at 90 degrees, forming the intersection. Now, we can see on my right a drywall. Stones making very compact drywall without the binding material. And then we have the filler material, which is made from this non-compact material, which consists of pebbles, rocks, and sand. To my left, the same thing. Drywall, filler material, and the tunnel. They are filled completely, not just a few meters, but completely, hundreds and hundreds of meters. Somebody was bringing hundreds of thousands of tons of material to close all those tunnels. And then a few meters after that, we have an interesting block. The block was discovered in the year 2006, and interesting why? Because of the carvings that we are discovering here. This carving is the combination of geometry and some alphabet symbols. And the most known combination of the geometry and the science of alphabet is so-called runic symbols, runes. According to the mainstream science, they are about 2,500 years old, but according to independent scientists, at least 8,000 years old. The runic symbols, every symbol, had a meaning. They were very complex, unlike our alphabet. Our letters, A, B, C, they have no meanings. Only when you put them together, 5, 6 of them, you are forming the words, and the words have the meaning. But runes, every symbol had a meaning. So we have a total of 8 runes here. And their translation, according to the professor from the United States, goes like this. The gate has been closed. We are at the standstill. We'll have to stay, to fight, defend ourselves, and conquer. until the cosmic gate is open again. This is our ceramic block K2. The first block that we saw, the egg-shaped block, is 350 kilos in mass. We had a couple of more blocks, 3.5 and 4 tons, our K1 and K3, and this is K2. This one is 8 tons in mass. As we go deeper, the blocks are getting bigger, so our K5 block is over 100 tons. We have done very sophisticated analysis, Röntgen diffraction analysis, and phase analysis. According to them, this is artificially made ceramic block. So somebody in distant past had technology to make very high temperatures and very high pressures in order to make ceramic blocks. Using georadar, we figure out that exactly in the middle of this block there was an oval object. It was not the air, or water, or ceramic, or metal, but mineral, most probably quartz crystal. So the process we have here, 21 meters below us, underground water flow, water moves, releases the energy, activates the quartz crystal. It is surrounded by ceramic. Ceramic vibrates, generating electromagnetic fields. What we measure here are two frequencies, 28 kilohertz, and this is the energy flow that moves through the labyrinth towards the pyramid. Then the pyramid pulls this energy, getting it through 7 level passageways inside the pyramid and then through the top. And the second frequency is very low, 7.83 hertz frequency, which is the natural Schumann resonance, the best energy field for us. Outside, it's 12 to 15 hertz. Here, 7.83. It seems that the pyramid energy really have been stabilizing the energy field of the planet. We also notice that when we open our hands and we get them close to this block, that we can feel the energy. So we don't use our physical senses no more, but spiritual senses. We have 30 spiritual senses. Feeling the energy is one of them. So this project has started as an archaeological project, and then it moved to the other aspects, interdisciplinary scientific project, energy aspect, spiritual aspect, and healing aspect. And only if we apply the knowledge from all 5 aspects that we can start understanding the ancient pyramids and megalithic sites around the world. I'm at the front of several closed tunnels behind me. The big question is, who made this huge underground tunnel network? And the next one, who and why would brought so much material to seal off all the tunnels? Our first thought was that they wanted to close them because there was something very valuable. For archaeologists today, very valuable means that it's sarcophagus, or it's a mummy of the king, or it's some treasure, gold, diamonds, or similar. However, there is something much more important than treasure, and that's technology. If you own the technology, you can get whatever you want. We realized that this is a huge tunnel network, maybe even 100 kilometers in length. So far we have cleared 2.1 kilometers. It's a huge job in front of us. We realized also that there is an energy flow in the tunnels. Flow that goes all the way to the pyramid, going through 7 levels of tunnels, and then going through the very top as the energy beam. Now, in a case when we close the tunnels, that flow stops, and the pyramid, from very strong and active energy machine, becomes very weak machine. In the time when this pyramid was in original shape, it was very strong. But now, without the pyramidion, which is missing from the top, with the one side almost completely destroyed, the southern side, without, as far as I would say, a potential device inside or below the pyramid, and finally with all the tunnels closed. This is the weak machine which cannot affect the surrounding areas like during the original times. The pyramid energy can be used or misused. For example, with several pyramids, you can form a network and you can make a protective shield around our planet. But also, as we use laser today, you can use them for the good purposes, like in medicine, or for bad purposes. You can kill the enemies. If in the wrong hands, the pyramid energy could be abused. Most probably something like that happened in the distant past, so original builders came back and made this machine very weak. As we move closer to the pyramids, I think we'll be finding more chambers. So far we have discovered 5 of them, and maybe open spaces under the pyramid. We might find some artifacts which will be the clue about the ancient builders. We might find more chambers that are resonance chambers, not the chambers to bury the leaders of the societies. And eventually, I think we'll find the knowledge that our civilization really needs. In 21st century, we have so many challenges. We realize that we are simply on the wrong path. With the pyramid energy, we will find some of the answers needed for our society. How to become free beings, how to become the beings who live in the balance between physical and spiritual, and finally, how to start living in harmony with the nature, realizing that our planet is our mother. Thanks to the pyramid energy, I think we will be getting closer to the right path for our society.